Hi, everybody. My name is Tiffany Zamora, and for my cultural presentation project, I decided to do the culture on the Netherlands. So here is the presentation content of everything I'm going to be going over. We're going to go over some of the important things like history to music to sports. Introduction of the culture. So the Netherlands is located in northwestern Europe. It currently has a population of 18 million people. The Netherlands and their culture, it has been built many, many years of traditions, culture, diverse populations. The Netherlands is what it is today because of all the rich history it has and all the rich culture. History. So there is a lot of history in the Netherlands, but I decided to focus on just two for the sake of this project. The first topic I decided to focus on is the Dutch Golden Age era. So this is a 17th century period of time where in the Netherlands, everything has really grown and everything had become this, I want to say big like prosperity bubble. Everything in relation to culture, economic, military grew 10 times the size that it was before. During that time, the Netherlands had grown to be one of the most powerful leading countries at that time period. And during that time, the reason why it grew so much was because they had things like the Dutch East India Company, which was one of the largest trading companies in the world at that time. Thanks to that company, trade grew, art grew, economics grew, and the Netherlands really flourished. Besides things like economics and military, art also really grew during this time period, which had a lot of good outcomes. So many artists that we know today actually originated during this era of time, thanks to the prosperity of this time period. The second topic I'm going to be covering is the World War II um, invasion. So during this time in the 1940s, the Netherlands had actually become occupied by Nazi Germany soldiers. And during this time, there was a lot of hardships that were faced in the Netherlands. For these 5 years, many of the citizens went hungry. There was food scarcity, loss of freedom. So many people had suffered during this time period because they were in fear of doing anything to get caught by the current occupation of Nazi Germany. And eventually, this went on for years, and hundreds of thousands of lives were lost during this time period. But finally, in May of 1945, Allied forces had freed the Netherlands from the Nazi Germany occupation. Flag. So this is the Netherlands flag. Currently, there is no specific meaning behind these colors. It's just a simple red, white, and blue flag. Although in my research, there are some people who have said that there is some meaning to these flags in their own ways. Some people believe that these colors symbolize courage, peace, brave, and prosperity. Actually, this flag used to be much different. Back in the 16th century, this flag used to actually be orange, white, and blue. The reason why it was these colors is because back then there was a general called William the Orange, and he was the leader of what's it called? I'm sorry. He was a leader of the Dutch revolt against the Spanish rule. And they had decided to change the flag to be orange to honor him. But eventually, as time went on in the 17th century, the orange kind of faded out and in went the red, which is the way it is today. Languages. So in the Netherlands, there's about three main languages, which is Dutch, English, and Friesan. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Dutch is the primarily language that is spoken there, but English is a close second. And Frisian is very similar to English. It is pretty much the most equivalent language to English that there is today. But Frisian is mainly spoken in these little indigenous ethnic groups that rely that live in these certain parts of the Netherlands. So you don't really see it in the main population cities, but it is very popular since it's so similar to English and stuff like that. Religions. So in my surprise, actually, many people in the Netherlands are not associated with religion at all. A lot of people go unidentified. They don't really feel like they fit into a religion or they're just not a part of religion. But there is a good amount of people who are, and usually these people who are associated with religion are usually Roman Catholic, Protestant, or other. The Netherlands do have some very beautiful churches, as you can see in this picture right here. This church right here is gorgeous. It has three clock towers, and it's honestly very beautiful. Holiday celebrations. Holiday celebrations. There are many very amazing holidays in the Netherlands, and I just decided to focus on a few. One of them is the Ketty, the national holiday that celebrates the representation of the abolition of slavery. So for this holiday, there is many, many parades, parties, festivals that just go on and celebrate the true meaning of freedom. As you can see in this one picture right here, many people would like to do parades and protests, just going down the streets in the Netherlands and just pretty much celebrating what it is to be free. And as you can see, it looks very fun. Second holiday celebration. So another two holidays that they celebrate is the National Commencement Day. This one is a day to remember all the soldiers and citizens whose lives were lost during the war. This is usually held on May 4th, and there's this whole ceremony where there's a moment of silence to represent all the lives that were lost. As you can see in this photo right here, there are some photos of people, there are some reefs, memorial reefs, and it's truly a really beautiful celebration. The day after that is Liberation Day. So after this day, this is to celebrate the freedom that was gotten after the occupation of Nazi Germany that I had mentioned earlier. And on this day, there's also parades, parties, festivals. A lot of people come together and truly celebrate freedom. Traditional clothing. Women's traditional clothing in the Netherlands. So, the traditional clothing of a Dutch woman includes elements such as a white bonnet, a skirt, and an apron. I'm gonna try to pronounce the what they're called. I'm really sorry if I butcher this horribly. The white bonnet is known as the hole. A skirt and an apron are called the klederdracht. I'm very sorry for my pronunciation. Other traditional items include accessories such as ear irons, which is earrings, and coral necklaces. So if you look at this photo right here, you can see the women wearing the whole, and around their neck they have the coral necklaces, which usually match in color to whoever they are with, and their little earring pieces, which are the oranges. I'm sorry if I pronounced that terribly. Um, Normally, in today's time periods, you don't really see this traditional clothing often. You usually only see it during celebrations like the Ketikoti I had mentioned earlier. You do not really see this in everyday life. Men's traditional clothing. This is the average man's traditional clothing in the Netherlands. They have the trousers, which is the kleprokie. These are usually really wide, baggy. As you can see in the photo right here, this man has really large pants on. He has a shirt and a doublet, which is a striped or solid linen shirt. So as you can see his little striped linen shirt underneath his little jacket. And this also includes a headwear such as a hat or a cap, which is a borenpet. And then they also have the wooden shoes, which is the klompen. As you can see, he has his little wooden shoes right there. Traditional foods. So not many people know this, but the Netherlands is actually very well known as a potato land, and this really incorporates into their traditional foods that they have. For example, the stamppot, which is on the right here. It's a famous dish that consists of mashed potatoes with endive mixed with meats and gravy. As you can see, it looks very yummy. And on the left, we have the frikandel, which is a delicious dish that consists of different meats fried on a stick. This is usually garnished with some sort of sauce, some onions to really bring in all the flavors. Other foods that are like dessert-wise are the croquette and the profiterolles. I'm sorry if I pronounced that horribly. The croquette is a fried croquette with different meats, and it's usually always served with mustard. It's like a traditional side piece for these croquettes. You can obviously eat it with other things, but traditionally it goes very well with the yellow mustard. And then these poffertjes are fluffy little mini pancakes that are usually served with powdered sugar and butter to bring in all the little flavors. I think these look very delicious because they just look like little mini pancakes. Music. So in the Netherlands, there is a lot of traditional Dutch folk music. They're usually comprised of dance tunes, ballads, and traditional songs. These specific folk tunes share stories of daily lives, life on the sea from sailors, Dutch traditions, etc. Usually, these songs are sung by sailors, farmers, they're sung at cultural festivals, and in many local communities. The music definitely has stayed alive over the years and is keeping up into feeding into the tradition and culture. Sports. So in the Netherlands, sports is actually a very big thing. The most recent one that many of you probably know is the FIFA World Cup. The Netherlands were a part of it. Here is a picture of their team. So some famous team sports in the Netherlands are football, soccer, volleyball, and speed skating. These are the most recent sports you can see, and they're the most famous ones that include being in a team. The other ones are more single ones that are also very popular, like tennis and cycling. Those are also very important sports. As you can see right here, here is the Netherlands team for the national tennis tournament. Art and artist. So not many people know this, but there's actually so many painters that have originated from the Netherlands that we had never known about. One of the most famous ones is Vincent van Gogh. He is well known for paintings like The Starry Night and A Vase of Sunflowers. Another very popular artist is Johannes Vermeer. He is known for painting this beautiful one on the left, the girl for the pearl, with the pearl, I'm sorry. Artist and Artist Part Two. So another very important artist is Rembrandt Harmensoen. I'm sorry for that pronunciation. He is famously known for painting the Night Watch. Right here, as you can see, it is people playing music. There's some soldiers. And then the one on the right, the artist didn't originate from the Netherlands, but the reason why I included it is because it accurately depicts a painting of the time period during the Dutch Golden Age, which I had mentioned earlier, that period of prosperity where the Netherlands had really grown and economic wise, status wise. As you can see in the painting, it really much depicts that time period. You can see a lot of art in the picture. Everyone is wearing like these nice traditional clothing. And I just thought it was really beautiful to share as a little peek into what that time period really looked like. Here are my references. I hope you enjoyed this and you really learned something. I know I had a lot of fun learning about the Netherlands. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Thank you guys. Have a good day.